Hey, welcome to RandomNet, where we explore the randomness of internet by selecting, or rather, letting the AI select a random platform for us. Uh, if it sounds super complicated, let me give you a demo, or actually, let me just do this. I'm not on a job right now to give you a demo, because that's what I do every single day. Give demo of our product to customers, and honestly, that's I love it. That's one of the best feeling during the job. Just interacting with other people in general, and give them the solution for their business needs, and that is kind of fulfilling. All right, cool. Let's check out this random net thing. So all I'm gonna just click on this website or wheel. What is it called? Wheel of names, and it gonna land on one of these topics, and we gonna explore that platform, and we're gonna explore, say, a random topic on that platform, or we're gonna just go from there. Um, so far, I've done all the platforms except for the Onion, so I'm kind of hoping that we land on Onion today. So, yeah, come on, Onion. Reddit. All right, I like Reddit. Reddit is great. Reddit has like a lot of trolls. Ask Reddit. What is so ridiculously overpriced, yet you still buy? That's interesting. Ridiculously overpriced, yet you still buy. I mean, for me, it gotta be food or drink, or I don't think I spend a lot on other hobbies like traveling and stuff, like air ticket or something. So let's see what most of the people uh, say. Okay, I can't believe how much people spend on alcohol at a bar. Exactly. Alcohol in general, the cost for beer is even going up. I don't drink anymore, but where I live, a six pack of local craft was at most $10 for something basic like a pale ale. I checked the other day out of curiosity, and the minimum is 13 to 14 bucks. Dude, where do you live, Big Mike? Uh, to be fair, this isn't a new thing. The price of beer jacked up at least 3, 4 years ago, and it didn't seem like a gradual thing. Okay. All right. Norman Doer says glasses. I could always buy a cheap one, but I'd rather pay money to buy nice frames that I actually like wearing rather than a pair I couldn't care less about. I don't think it's like ridiculously overpriced. I don't know how much Norman Doer pays for their glasses, but let's see. Vaxel asked, I used to hate wearing glasses because I thought they made me unattractive. When I got older, I realized I was just wearing cheap, ugly glasses, and I look pretty good in the right ones. I don't mind cheap, but it's the shape. I kept picking the wrong shapes for my face, but now I like myself in glasses and think I look weird without them. These look pretty good. Goes home, looks in mirror. These look like shit. Yeah, I can relate. Grave Girl says, I've gotten lots of compliments on my current frames and the high index lenses, and my usual no glare lenses coating were all roughly 50 bucks at Zenny. And I've got one of those prescriptions that even iSmart Express has to send out for. Yeah, I'm gonna just skip this whole glasses section. Kerrygold butter. Okay. I was for a second I was thinking about cheese because I do spend um, I wouldn't say a lot per se, but I like cheese, so I spend a good amount on cheese. Uh, but I agree with worldwide darts. Worldwide darts. Kerrygold butter is expensive. Um, I will always buy Kerrygold now. It's worth the difference in price. I buy in bulk and freeze the other bricks to use later. FYI, Costco sells restaurant grade soft European style butter in 4 1 pound bricks for like $12. It legit tastes exactly like the non clarified butter I used in my pro kitchen when I was a chef. Okay. Um, Not sure. I haven't tried Costco butter. Let's see what other people think about it because I will be going for Costco shopping like in a few days. So I swear by Costco butter. I buy in bulk and keep the extra in the freezer. hmm Costco also sells Kerrygold. Wait, what? Not American here. What's the matter with the US butter? US is known to take shortcuts with additives in everything, including butter. Be more specific. What additives does the US use in butter? I'm looking at the package of my butter right now. The ingredients list doesn't list any. Contains sweet cream. It's a store brand. To be smoky says, I not all that long ago started eating Kerrygold. I've been asked this by a few people since then when they see it in my fridge. My answer is always try it and taste the difference. I still buy like Country Crock and other butters that are cheap or on sale, mostly to use in stuff where you won't taste it much or at all. But if I'm gonna taste it, Kerrygold is my go to. It tastes so good. Grilled cheeses are awesome with it. There's a garlic one that's really good if you fry up some sliced potatoes in it. I throw mushrooms and onions in mine, it's amazing. Country crock is plant based, not butter. What my mom called margarine. Margarine? I'm just wondering what's difference about the cream that goes into Kerrygold versus the store brand Orlando Lakes. The original poster that said it's additive seems to be incorrect. Because from the ingredients list, you would think they were identical products. There has to be something more to it. I'm thinking that the process or that the fat content of the cream must be different. This may help a bit. All right, we're gonna check that out. The difference is the actual butter taste. IMO Kerrygold grass feeds or hay feeds, while most commercial butters are grain fed or even worse. Silage. Why is silage worse than grain? Isn't it just fermented grass? It's likely just higher quality cows or cow diet. I'm not seeing one of the most significant differences listed in this thread. Kerrygold has two listed ingredients on their wrappers: milk, salt. Country Crock's listed ingredients, 35% of which is vegetable oil, soybean oil, palm kernel, and palm oil, 3 calcium phosphate mono and diglycerides, xanthan xanthan gun, lactic acid, lecithin, potassium sorbate, natural flavor, vitamin A, palmitate, beta carotene, vitamin D3. Milk isn't even on the list. The additives, preservatives, and oils just try to mimic the real thing but falls short in terms of flavor. Country crock is not butter, it's a spread. They'll straight up put canola or veg oil in butter. Wait, what? That's margarine. It's spreadable butter, tubs maybe, not in sticks. Not according to USDA. It is uncultured, so the taste isn't as present. And it tastes as good as Kerrygold? I melted some Kerrygold and in a separate bowl melted Land O'Lake butter, and there was an awful lot of water in the Land O'Lakes, hence the better flavor in Kerrygold. No, and it isn't spreadable at room temperature like Kerrygold either. Ew, butter has more butter fat and less air whipped in. Okay, maybe La Leisha might solve this whole conundrum. I don't know if we have that exact brand where I live, but butter is always my first thought for this question. Apart from all the shit considered basic necessities options mentioned above, this is my favorite brand, cowscreamery.ca, says she lives in Canada. I love the cultured butter. It has 84% fat content, and I guess they ferment it slightly so it has just a bit of tang. Eggs are my runner up choice too. A really good egg fried in really good butter on a fresh baked slice of bread. Heavenly. Alright, the real difference between Irish butter and regular butter. we're gonna dive into this whole mystery of butter. Wow. If America's various crimes against food mean we can't have nice things made in the USA, then butter is no exception. And as many discerning grocery shoppers know, Irish butter, particularly Kerrygold, rules overall. It's silky, creamy, and just the right balance of salty and sweet. And what makes Irish butter so superior to bland American varieties? For me, it's the color. Irish butter is often a satisfying shade of yellow that's deeper than most regular butter brands. We tend to eat with our eyes first, and yellow is the color most fast food marketeers choose for a reason. It's associated with comfort and contentment. That yellow in Irish butter, though, isn't just coloring like annatto used to brighten up food like Velveeta and goldfish. It comes from the beta carotene Irish cows ingest in Irish pastures, which then makes its way into their stored fat and then their milk. Beta carotene is naturally found in plants like grass, and the Irish climate in particular tends to help the grass these cows dine on become a vibrant green. The green land in our competitive advantage. The green land is our competitive advantage. Pat O'Keefe, deputy editor of Irish Farmers Journal, tells NPR. Those rolling green hills are great for growing grass. You need frequent and regular rainfall, and we've got plenty of that. Irish butter is far more spreadable. Next up, that superior texture, because what's just as bad as burnt toast? Impatient butterers know it's rib toast. You know what happens when you try to spread that cold, second rate white butter onto a fragile slice of your favorite bread. And that experience probably makes you not want to repeat the next time you try to butter your bread. If you have ever had the pleasure of using Irish butter, though, you know your toast isn't destined for that sad fate. As if by magic, Irish butter is softer and more spreadable than ours. This comes down to a higher fat content and a better nutritional profile, according to Real Simple and Everyday Health. European butter contains about 82% butterfat, while ours tops out at 80%. That extra 2% is usually made up of fat, which helps the butter become the delectable, spreadable texture, and love. Irish butter's superiority is one creamy secret. Irish cows are grass fed, which gives their milk an advantage over our cows. Butter from cows fed mostly grass, green, not dried, gives the end product a richer, more intense flavor that ends up getting higher ratings than regular butter by those who try it. American dairy cows eat a lot of dried grass, corn, and other seeds, grains, and food byproducts, one USDA info sheet shows, which doesn't impart the same color or taste as primarily grass fed cows in Irish pastures, which are known for being particularly green and lush. According to O'Keefe, there is a discernible difference in taste and mouthfeel between Irish and American butter. I have to be careful for an American audience, but would say it's like the difference between chalk and cheese, he said. The higher fat content, grass fed milk, a golden color, and luscious texture set Kerrygold and other Irish butters miles apart from regular American brands like Lando Lakes, or even organic brands like Horizon. By some accounts, Irish butter has an advantage over other European butters too, which strive for the same bite, sunny color, and luxurious taste. Grass fed butter tends to be more nutritious too. Grass fed butter, like Irish butter, tends to actually have a better nutritional profile as well. According to Everyday Health, there could be more omega 3 fatty acids in your pat of Irish butter when compared to regular butter. Also, a study from 2015 found that this type of butter could have less saturated fat and more polyunsaturated fat than your old standby. Another nutritional boon found in grass fed butter is higher amounts of conjugated linoleic acid, linoleic acid, which, in combination with the higher amount of omega 3 fatty acids, can help to lower your risk of heart disease. While this info could make you want to add more butter than you normally would to your favorite dishes, keep in mind that butter, no matter its origin, isn't exactly the healthiest fat out there. So keep your proportions small. Also, keep in mind that while there may be a little nutritional benefits when compared to regular butter, but that doesn't mean you should use more than you normally would. If all that's not an excuse to try some Irish butter, we don't know what is. This article was written back in 2020 or updated back in 2020. Cow's Creamery. Premium butter contains 84% butter fat in comparison to 80% in regular butters. Our butter is made by churning the cream slower and longer in traditional churns. This creates a creamier taste and silkier texture. Sea salt is added to provide a premium taste. Alright, shout out to Cow's Creamery for doing it right. Where are you, by the way? Uh, Canada? Edward Island? Where to buy? I'm sure there are going to be some options in US too. Retail. USA. Please contact one of our US distributors. Okay. Wait. So Food Matters Again. That's the name of the company who distribute Cow's Creamery. Brooklyn-based importer and distributor of artisanal cheeses and specialty foods. Yeah, shout out to Food Matters Again. I don't know when it stopped mattering, but I think I get the point. Yeah, for a while, people were just ingesting whatever was uh, propagated by the food industries and the rigged um, food pyramid, I guess. Food matters again. All right. So what happened? We went on a tangent about cheese and glasses. And let's see what else. What else is overly priced? Uh, Health insurance and medical supplies. Well, this is kind of true, and yet you still buy, which yeah is sad truth as well. So yeah, uh, Stray Moggy says for our family of five, the insurance premiums, deductible, and medications come to about 35 grand a year. Yeah. You don't have an out of pocket maximum of like 12K or something. Sounds like some trash health insurance. Our deductible is 11,000. Then 100% paid for medical procedures. But some medicines still have copay after that. Damn, $35,000 a year just for medical expenses. Oh, Napoleon Desern says, right now, cars, at least in my area, brand new cars are few and far between, and it's not unusual to see used cars with prices 10 to 12,000 above what the price was a year and a half ago. It's insane. Apple Park 5 says, I've heard about people flying multiple states over just to get a car for MSRP instead of 10K more. Just a normal sedan. Pretty crazy. DJ Skenster says, my buddy did that. Flew from Chicago to New York to save thousands on a Honda. Hmm. Slytherin Prolly. There is a huge Ford dealership right next to my office. One of my favorite things to do when I first started working there was go next door and walk through an inventory of all the new cars. For the past year or so, though it's pretty much just been a giant empty surface parking lot. Hmm. I've noticed that all the empty lots are filling up again. Dealers will still play the markup game for a few more months. But I'm already seeing used prices start to fall back to at least under what the new price was. In my area, new and used family sedans, pickups, and economy models are still going for big markups, but new high end luxury cars are being sold at MSRP. It's weird. Feels like another example of those who can least afford it being built the hardest, if I'm being honest. That's true. Shop one soul. Very much area specific. Took my Audi in for service, and all their showroom was minimum of 15K up to 30K market adjustments. I've seen 10 plus year old foreigners going for more than a brand new Camry. What? People are on some bullshit with Toyota valuations, but it just goes to show you what people want reliability. Vladimir Putin says, so I just want to let folks in the US know that Caravana is tanking and essentially beginning to liquidate their inventory. This action alone is going to flood the used car market, but there is also some lease movement that means used car prices could really tank around April. Carvana is essentially beginning to liquidate their inventory. Okay, so Carvana has a lot of cars. That makes sense as to why I have seen so many Carvana license plate holders on the road with temp paper tags. I lived without a car for years because I was in major city with great public transit. Then I relocated and had to get one. About a year ago, in December 2021, and the guy who owned the lot said, no one in the industry has seen anything like this. Demand is through the roof, but we can't even get inventory in here. Even back then, the car market was getting crazy, but I still feel like for what I drove off with "I got a deal considering the economic climate of the day." Hmm. My property tax is higher this year than last year. I bought it right before the used car market starting surging for 20K with almost 50K miles on it. Now it's almost at 70K and the trade-in value is higher than I paid for it. Fair market value is up like 15 to 20%. Mid-range full-size family sedans aren't supposed to appreciate in value. Wow, seriously? I'm going to be paying capital gains tax this year on a car. That's not normal. Uh, that seems like something most people wouldn't report. Hmm, kind of true. I wouldn't have purposefully avoided taxes, but now not sure I would have thought about capital gains on a car. This is a wild scenario. In the future, just remember this tax rule. If it feels good, the IRS wants a portion of it. That is a good way to put it. It's registered with the state. Good luck hiding it. Alright, so what else is overrated? No, we're still talking about cars, I guess. My 2011 110,000 miles car got written off this summer was just a fender bender, but insurance decided it was beyond economical repair. They only offered me £900, which I was thinking was low, but the car did have a few minor issues. I argued and they raised it to £1,000. Now, this was before I seen the prices of second cars, so I didn't put up that much of a fight. I still haven't found a replacement as I can't afford any that are at the same level as my old car. I did get a crappy car to make do with, but that broke down inside 2 weeks, and luckily the guy gave me the money back. I've seen 2003 cars, albeit with lowish mileage, with asking price over £2,000. Found several cars older than my own with 20,000 plus miles more than mine going for £4,000. It's shocking. I don't want much, just something that drives and can fit the kids' car seats in. But I'll probably have to get a loan after Christmas or buy on finance to even be able to get a old beat up car. I feel bad for this person, some Craig dealer. Well, I hope it works out for you. I hope you you find the sources you need to to get this sorted out. Well, firefighter says I just saw a Toyota 4Runner in my area, 2003, 215,000 miles on it for 20,000 USD. I understand that vehicle has a following and a culture behind it right now, but I was still blown away by the price tag. $20,000? No way. Even that's high unless it has a bunch of desirable modification. Yeah, it's way high. 2003 with like already a 20-year-old car with over 200,000 miles. Didn't have any cool aftermarket gadgets they have for these days. That makes it more spendy. More mods equal to less value. At least for me, it does. Now, I'm kind of curious how much my car um, um, could get me. Let's check it out. Carvana. I don't want to do this. Okay, let's see. Now that I'm sending them my info, they would be like, okay, look like this dude wanna sell his car, so um, he might let's just swarm him with all the spam mails and whatnot. I'm sure that that's exactly what's gonna happen. All right, let's see. I gotta specify all the details here. Let's do not sure. That they're asking about if I want to sell it or trade. And I was like, I'm not sure because if I pick one over the other, they're gonna be like, yeah, they would they might give like a different value. Um, okay, they're asking about issues, no issues, exterior damage, minor damage. Then some scripts, a little uh, interior damage. No, well, what? Maybe little stains. I can have any modifications? No. Have these been smoked in? Not smoked in. How many keys? Two keys. What is the best way to describe your vehicle overall? Pretty great. Uh, Shoot, I gotta send my email now, and I gotta figure out which email I'm gonna use because obviously I'm not gonna give them my what do you call official email address. Does your vehicle have any of the issues listed below? No mechanical or electrical issues. Cool. Creating your offer. I mean, hmm. So they say I could get 16 grand on that. $16,000. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm gonna sell it. I was just kind of curious to kind of check. And also, I'm sure like there are gonna be like few more. Well, I'm I don't even want to sell my car first of all, because without my car, I'll be pretty. What do you call? Pretty much impaired because I can't live without car, especially especially right now, and I can see why most of the people are having this trouble, right? Because they need car to actually do things they need to do, and the economy is like so bad right now that it's definitely painful. Yeah, but the only thing I can say is this will pass too. I don't know how long it might take, but slowly but surely this will pass too. This whole economic situation or any other situation in your life. All right, let's see what else. What is so ridiculously overpriced yet you still buy? Silent Performers 7453 says concessions at sporting events. As much as I try my best to eat before I go and resist the urge to buy beer when I'm there, some days seeing others enjoying their beer and food or snacks make me say, F it, and I indulge too. I'm with you, Silent Performer 7453. I've been there. Man, the chokehold sporting event food can have on me, depending on where you're sitting. The food isn't even very good, but it is. Yeah, you can find good food sometimes. Whenever I go to Miami Dolphins game, I have to get an arepa. It's like $8 for this little piece of bread and cheese, but it's so tasty. Arepa. Okay, something to make a note of, like a street food arepa with bread and cheese. Yeah, like kind of like sandwich, but uh, just bread and cheese. Well, one to buckle my shoe. Uh, how I've been an user for 9 years. I can tell. Um, well, they say hell. The sporting events themselves are ridiculously overpriced. I can't believe what they charge for some of these games. $100 for upper bowl tickets to a team that hasn't made a playoff in a decade. As long as they can sell most of the tickets, it's not overpriced. Clearly, people still pay to go see the team they support, even if they haven't been good in a while. Yeah, that's a free market. Agreed, but it is frustrating because I know a lot of the seats are purchased by companies and either given away to clients or employees who only kind of follow the sport. A big chunk of these people are in suits at the bar, chatting the entire game, leaving the seats empty, expensing tickets, food, and drinks just to try and impress a client or for a business meeting not in the office. Screw economics and leave the tickets for the fans. Ever been to a Leafs game? Half the crowd is wearing suits. Go to a Habs game and you'll be hard pressed to find someone out of a jersey. No surprise, Leafs have the priciest tickets too. Bill Burr has entered the chat. Sorry, Habs. I'm guessing the Leafs are the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team, but I can't place Habs. Montreal, Montreal Canadiens. Sorry, when you're in the culture, you forget it's not common knowledge. Ah, thanks. I felt the same way and bought a $13 slice of pizza and an $8 cup of soda. Wow, been there. Not $13 slice of pizza. That's super expensive. Probably I mean unless I'm like very hungry. Um, yeah, $13 for a slice of pizza? No way. And also it's not like the best slice of pizza at a sporting event. So there's that. If I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, this is a must-have slice of pizza, it's gonna be like an experience of itself, which I think sporting events are, but the food is clearly not. I'm talking about experiencing the food, not anything around. All right. So, last hockey game I went to was $8 for pizza, 12 for beer, and they asked for tips. I was at Twins game this summer, and they have a self-serve beer cave with a self-checkout. The self-checkout asked for a tip. I believe that should be considered predatory. They are relying on the fact the user will habitually add a tip despite there being no service benefit. It is indeed, and it's commonplace now. They asked me for a tip too and did not give $0 as an option, so I tapped other and typed $0. It's freaking ridiculous. How do they card for self serve? There was someone standing at the door to walk into the cooler checking IDs, but you walk out of the cooler on the other side and go right to the self checkouts. At the X, I had to get my own beer from the cooler and put my card in. They asked for a tip. I get it's just a computer program, but damn. Does it circle back to you? Whereas the $10 tip makes a $12 beer actually $2? It absolutely does not, unfortunately. So, does it charge the tip and give you, the server, the tip? It gives a tip to you, but you have to claim it on your taxes, or the manager is gonna have a word with you. Robots gonna feed their children too. How is that not considered fraud? No clue, but it was my first day of off in months, and I met up with my best friends for the game, so I just went with it. At least the twins have more affordable options, though, or at least they did a couple of years ago. All right. What is ridiculously overpriced? I think I'm done with this subreddit, or actually that thread at least. Let's see. What joke is starting to get old now? Yeah, let's see. The perfect the perfect X doesn't exist. The perfect X doesn't X. That's not an X, it's a drunk cross. Nah, mate, this is a drunk cross. Drunk cross? Okay. Spontaneous funny situations that are clearly staged. Worst TikToks I've seen are people asking strangers on the street, I'll pay you $100 to go to Japan and do X. And the TikTok is just a 30-second travel vlog. Like, cool, you wanted to travel. You don't need to trick your viewers to be interested. Hmm? But they do have to try to trick people to watch because they aren't really worth watching. Tell me X without telling me X. Uh, just here to say I'm done with the put a finger down if you, followed by 3 minutes of a crazy story, followed by the person putting a finger down. What? Okay, that's good. The joke was old the first time. Oh my god, have you seen the put a finger down continue to tell the craziest person story than not put a finger down, cause it's even more frustrating. I'm kind of glad social media is moving fast enough at this point that jokes get old before I ever even hear them. But yeah, formulaic jokes like that are terrible. The first person to say "tell me X" without telling me X was funny. Every subsequent person was an unoriginal attention grabber with nothing to contribute. There's several times on a post I went to go make a joke and find someone else already made it, so I'll upvote and move on. So many other times I want to make a joke and realize not only was it an easy dumb joke, but 20 plus people already said it. Humor is like that. People see similar opportunities, and a lot of times the difference between funny and very funny is some little extra wordplay twist inside or different perspective you can offer. Agreed, I like threads where people add to the joke rather than just repeat it. That joke was, oh, okay, okay, all right, let's. Um, what happened here? I've been done with it since the first video I saw. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's the tweet. This comment right here. Uh, no one, not anyone, not even ever. Me, this joke format was fucking annoying when I first saw it, let alone the thousands of times afterwards. Like, nobody posted a meme about that. Uh, did you know there's a sub for that? Useless nobody? Of course there is. I bet there is a sub for everything. Best answer, not even a joke. It's just cringe 99% of the time. Today, years old, it was funny exactly once. Now it just sounds idiotic. Not the X we deserve, but the X we need, or whatever it is, for every single damn thing. Or how about unexpected references? We get it. Someone quoted an extremely popular movie or TV show. No need to catalog all the references to The Office or Seinfeld. A reference fit for a queen. Okay, let's see. That's really cute. A little too cute if I do say so myself. Very suspicious. The cop is CGI and that kid is a puppet. Nice job, DreamWorks. No, no puppet. You're the puppet. I'm the puppet. You're the puppet. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. A good one. Good one. Wait, there are only like what, two posts? This was posted 6 years back. Okay, so this person, uh, okay, wow. Uh, this isn't the comment we deserve. Okay, of course. Item doesn't ring up at register. That must mean it's free. Hey guys, anything else I can get for you? How about $1 million? Hardy har har. I haven't heard that one 3 dozen times tonight. I once replied to a customer with, "We don't have anything on the menu," as cheesy as that. His whole family laughed at him, and I got no tip and a nice talking to from my shift manager. Well, that's a hilarious comeback. Dude was a sour sport considering the rest of the family found it funny. Yeah, I would have tipped extra for that. I usually get tipped extra for extra sass. And I work in fine dining. Hmm. Active doctor who works in a fine dining. Alright, so I got called an asshole and still tipped. That's hilarious. It's literally a restaurant where the whole shtick is the servers are all rude. Very entertaining, to be honest. There's several of those now. I think the original was Dirty Dicks in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's many copycats now. There's many copycats now. Well, Dick's last resort. I went there when I was 6 and was constantly asking what I'm a dickhead meant on my paper hat while my dad and grandpa cracked up at me. Was just gonna bring that up. I think it's in New York. All right. What joke is starting to get old now? Quiet kid jokes. They're always so predictable, and the punchline is always the same. George Carlin had a bit about the quiet ones, stating, "Who's more of threat, a guy sitting quietly staring at the wall or the guy banging a machete on the counter screaming, 'I'll kill the next motherfucker who walks in here'? You're goddamn right. When you're watching a quiet one, a loud one is going to come behind you and kill you." What? Probably, probably he meant like the other way around. Quietly paying attention so I can take no that one step out of the way and avoid the mess. Like in the westerns when there is a fight and the guy doesn't move, but he picks his drink up off the doomed table right before it's broken. As a quiet one myself who's gotten a fair amount of shit for being a loner, I have always loved this Carlin bit. Quiet person can confirm we are just sitting there lost in our own thoughts. What's wrong with that? We are mostly harmless. I'm a quiet one myself and can confirm. Yeah, your thoughts of arson and torture. 99% of quiet people are not thinking about that. Oops. Ah, come on. Shh. No, I lost it. Well, let's move on to something else. Still got like 10-ish minutes before we wrap up. Hmm. If water is base drink, then what is base food? Your local carb, rice in some places, sweet in others. Grass needs to be specific. Now let's go to some of the thread. What was ruined because too many people did it? Should be good. Subscription everything, especially software. I want to buy Office, AutoCAD one time and use it for a decade. I don't want to buy it every year. A lovely counterexample is DaVinci Resolve. It's a serious video editing package used on proper films, and there's a free as in beer version and a paid for version. The free version limits you to 4K timelines, presumably because if you're cutting higher resolutions than that, you're making a proper film and can afford it, and doesn't have some of the fancier effects and neural engine processing that the paid for one has. But other than that, there are no limitations. You can use the free one commercially for as long as you like. A license for the paid for one is about 300 quid and also comes free with some of the hardware they produce. Once you've got your license, that's it. It will work on all the versions up to the current one. There's nothing that explicitly says they'll never ask you to pay to upgrade, but they haven't yet. I think their business model is getting the enthusiastic amateur market using it, and the few that go on to a career in filmmaking will then just go out and buy themselves a remarkably inexpensive £6,000 or so digital cinema camera from BMD and base their studio around all the control panels you can buy for it. Kind of like we'll give it away for free because we know you're going to buy it next week anyway. I haven't bought it yet, but it's on my list for early next year because I want some of the cleanup and scaling tools that only work in studio. DaVinci Resolve. I'm curious about that. The free version of includes all the basic features, and you need to get started with audio editing program. Okay, let's check it out. Professional editing, color effects, and audio post. DaVinci Resolve is the world's only solution that combines editing, color correction, visual. Okay, all of that, and edit, color, Fairlight, Fusion. Wow. Hmm. Interesting. I'm sure it's great, but let's see what's new. Featuring cloud-based workflow for a new way to collaborate remotely. You can host project libraries using Blackmagic Cloud and collaborate on the same timeline in real time with multiple users globally. The new Blackmagic proxy generator automatically creates proxies linked to camera originals for a faster editing workflow. Plus, support for Apple M1 Ultra gives you a powerful image processing engine, eliminating expensive cloud computing. There are new resolve effects such as Ultra Beauty and 3D Depth Map, improved subtle subtitling for editors, GPU accelerated Fusion Paint, and real time title template playback, Fairlight, fixed to flex bus conversion, and more. Good to know. Good to know. This seems interesting. Okay, so you can original footage and after object masking, like original footage and after depth map, and after surface tracking, after resolve beauty. And I have no idea what most of these actually kind of mean. Vertical resolutions for social media. Well, something to something to check out, I guess. It also have option for YouTube. Nice. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, Aaron Bush. Let me check what this user does. Uh, 2017. All right, so not yeah, just a few years. Great. Let's switch back here, and I'm gonna check because this looks like a good informative thread. All right, good insight. I really do want to learn Resolve, but can't seem to find the right tutorial. Can you send a good one if you have it? Honestly, just go in and start messing around. It's got its own help, and there are quite a few tutorials online for it. Just like with Blender, you Google what you need to figure out. There's no one end all tutorial. Blender user here, I can absolutely confirm this. I've recently made a forecast scene and I'm waiting for it to render right now. And I couldn't just Google how to make a forest. I had to go on YouTube and search geometry nodes basics, generating a path with geometry nodes, how to make a tree, how to make fog, how to add focal length, how to make volumetric light rays, how to make bump mapping, how to animate, how to texture, how to export to games. The list really does go on. Blender is fucking amazing. Just like DaVinci Resolve. I'm not sure. I might have heard about Blender in passing, but whoa. Enjoy the latest shot by Blender Studio. Okay, what's happening here? So this is an open movie made entire with Blender, and one can get the production files as it can. I'm talking over the video because I don't want to get like copyrights claim and whatnot, because I think it's obviously this video belongs to Blender Studio. Uh, yeah, so it looked like in an energy scare dystopia. This is dysphoria. In an energy scarce dystopia, an old destitute man breaks into a battery factory but soon finds himself confronted by a deadly security droid and no way out. Blender Studio is the creative part of the Blender headquarters. A dedicated team of artists and developers challenge themselves with the creative technical targets to help Blender users and to drive Blender development forward. This happens in the open source production environment and by sharing everything they make in an open and free license. Want to know more? Join the studio today. Um, that's nice. That's good to know. I mean, Blender definitely sounds familiar, but I never heard about DaVinci Resolve. So I learned quite a new things today. Okay. I have no background in media or video editing, but I made like 100 victory shitposts for the Dodgers using the free version of Resolve. I just dive right in and start making stuff. That was my approach before as well, but my ADHD just overwhelms me to use 27 different software at once. The first thing I thought was neither of these suggestions would work for me, who deals with rather severe ADHD. Okay. For those who don't know where to start, a good tutorial is crucial to breaking the ice and getting going. It's easy to say Google it, but my response is always Google what? If we don't know what we want to do, how do we know how to search for it? How does one know to use a filter if you don't know which filters exist or where or when you would use certain filters, etc.? I appreciate how easy it is for some folks to just figure it out, but others may need a little more structure to their training. For real, man, without strict and clear instructions on what to do, I'd just do everything at once. That's the problem with being creative. There are no strict rules, but the ones you impose on yourself. I have bad ADHD. I just looked up on YouTube a standard tutorial, skimmed it, and now I just look up small things that can make things easier, like shortcuts. Find a channel that has a lot of resolved videos and watch the thing they teach. Gives you new ideas on how to use your footage. That ADHD does make the first hurdle a bitch. Tried learning Blender by just diving in. Didn't get anywhere. Tried like 10 times, too frustrating. After I got diagnosed and I got a prescription, I made a funny little brick wall. Okay, let's move on. That was informative subreddit. Be honest, what would you say if your ex said, I miss you? You should. That's almost as good as Don Draper in Mad Men. I don't think about you at all. Or Humphrey Bogart's response to Peter Lorre asking, you despise me, don't you? If I gave you any thought at all, I probably would. Hmm. Or Coco Channel's famous quote, I don't care what you think about me because I don't think about you at all. And asked my ex if his bimbo gold digger girlfriend left him and took all his money. Last year, an old ex reached out and we had coffee. We caught up, and I got the vibe that he was unhappy with his life. He was lonely. Meanwhile, I'm completely happy with how I'm doing. To clarify, I used to be completely in love with this guy, but he was horrid. It took me a while to realize this. I cut out meeting short and said I had to go, cause I did. And when we were parting, he said something like there's a lot of things to apologize for, so here is one. I'm sorry. To cover it. Let me tell you, he never apologized before. He would always say, I'm sorry you felt that way or saw it that way. Anyway, I just looked at him, smoked, and said, okay, then I left. So stupid, but felt good. This is the longer version of your answer. My ex is way too smart, and it's been far too much time since we dated to contact me saying she misses me. But damn, now I hope she would just to answer that. Alright. Be honest, what would you say if your ex said, I miss you? Who's this? It's me, Jessica. I just wanted to say I've been thinking about you lately and was thinking if we can go out for a drink. I have something to tell you. Sorry, wrong number. All the Jessicas I knew died. Brutal. I love it. The best response is no response. Came here to say this. 100% they are an ex for a reason. This is a response I would give since it's been over 20 years. This. My ex did. Ended up marrying her. Over 8 years in the marriage. And I'm glad I swallowed my pride. She's an amazing wife and mother. Oh, that's cute. Congratulations to both of you. Hoping for more and wonderful, stable years together. May you both grow old together and continue to enjoy each other's company. Why did you break up in the first place? Can't recall clearly, but I remember I was going through a lot with very long work hours being a chef, financial issues, and generally depleted self worth. I lashed out, said things I shouldn't have, and she left. I didn't pursue it. I know she deserved better. About a year into the breakup, I get the I miss you. Good for you, bro. I did the same thing, made it 12 years before it blew up last month. Hopefully, your marriage continues to be awesome, though. All right. Lastly, I miss me too, but me from back when I did not know you. Okay, that's kind of that, that's good line. Cool. All right. It's been past an hour, and I gotta find the right screen. There you go. This been uh, interesting. I mean, Reddit. I like going through Reddits because uh, you can find a mixture of everything in here. Some insightful thoughts, some trolls, and some people just say more crazy, stupid things. So it's kind of fun to just go with this. Twitter, on the other side, is like way more hateful and venomous, I guess. Reddit format are better. You can have like different subreddits, so you're in a particular topic and you can review those topics and whatnot. Twitter, in my opinion, should do something like that. Have like a um, I was actually thinking about it, maybe like having something like bubbles, so everyone can when they go into like a particular bubble. Let's just say they go into a politics as a bubble. They'll see only the political news, and when they exit out and say go into like entertainment, they'll only see the entertainment. I shouldn't say news, but entertainment tweets. So, and sure, there are going to be overlap between individuals because people are complex and we have interest in multiple streams. But at the very least, it will help to gauge what most of the people want to pay attention to. The biggest disadvantage of Twitter is because all the tweets are kind of just fed in a one common space. While I'm going through all the tweets, sometimes I see like tweet I'm interested in, say from a business standpoint or self improvement standpoint, but the very next tweet gonna be something very stupid, like some moronic comment from some uh, politicians or whatnot. So or some radio talk host or some political talk host or whatever. The point being, it's painful to kind of go through like a different types of topics or bubbles, so to speak, because I know no matter what area of life I try to pay attention, it's sort of like a bubble, right? Like my or echo chambers, if you will. So maybe like should be calling echo chambers instead of bubbles. So Twitter echo chambers. So if they have like different echo chambers, then you know that you're okay. You're gonna only be fed your biased news here or your echo chambers news here. So when you go to some other like I don't know, investments echo chamber, you're gonna only hear from people that talk about markets and not maybe mingling with like I don't know, sometimes with politics, but probably never will bring up like um, like some artist work or song or something, like there's a remote chances that's going to happen as well. But the point being, if individual pick up their echo chambers or their bubbles, they would know what topic they're going to be fed. And then we can see what topics or what bubbles do most of the people want to spend their time in, so I like to think that most of the people would rather like every time you launch Twitter, if you have like bunch of bubbles in front of you, you'll be like, okay, let me just check out, I don't know, my spirituality bubble, my religious bubble, my whatever bubble, and that will suck you in for sure. That's what these medias are designed to do to begin with. But at least it will suck you in direction where it could be helpful. Um, and I'm sure a lot of people will be on pol- politics bubble or some sort of like entertainment bubble or sports bubble for that matter. And I'm sure a lot of those tweets or retweets or whatever responses to the tweets gonna get dirty, ugly, and that's part of being human and tackling with human nature. But I think at least having these different spaces will make people more mindful of where they are, and maybe they're gonna, you know, start choosing different bubbles or different echo chambers or different spaces, so, which is what Twitter is calling their live um, conversation space, I guess. Anyways, it's late. I need to go. But this was fun. Just going through Reddit, different subreddits. There were few things which I learned today, like especially with the butter. Well, I kind of knew that American made butter are not the best quality, but I never dived into these specificities, so it was good to learn that. And also, I learned about a couple of other tools, which hopefully can help me with my whole video and other artistic projects. Anyhow, until